At the time of writing this, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach's base game is still quite a disappointing experience. The developers released Ruin, and a lot of people thought the original game would probably have some updates alongside it, but all I could find out was that they removed one of the funniest voice lines in the game.
Try that magnet you found.
Wait, why did they change it? They changed the voice line. So I think it's time for me to take things into my own hands and compile some mods that will change Security Breach to at least make it look presentable. And maybe even tweak some things so the game is actually challenging. There will be links to all of the things I've used in this video in the description, and you can find the subscribe button down there as well, so how about you give that a little tap for me. As always, enjoy the video. So the first mod I installed, and the entire reason I decided to make this video, was one I discovered on a Twitter post by Scorpy356. They posted screenshots showing the Pizzaplex, but with updated graphics. It turns out that they were using a mod called Universal Unreal Unlocker, which works for every game in Unreal Engine, and that includes Security Breach. This mod also unlocks the console that is in all Unreal Engine games, which we will use in a minute here. That's not the only graphical improvement we have though, because the base game for Security Breach has an option to turn on RTX if you have an RTX card. I do have an RTX graphics card, but for some reason the game doesn't give you the option to turn it on, so I had to put 9 commands in the console to get it turned on, which will all be in the description. Now, installing the next mods will be a lot easier. There's an application called Unverum that's used to download and install mods for games, and I'm using a custom version of it that has Security Breach included. Through the Browse Mods tab, I've installed all of the mods I've used in this video, so let's get into them. The first mod you'll see when you boot up the game is Anom's alternate main menu mod, which replaces the main menu screen with different 3D animations with a static effect over the top that make you feel like you're playing a real horror game from just the menu alone. That's a common theme you'll see. The game looks much scarier than before. This mod is one of the only mods that is actually fully updated to Ruin, and the different 3D renders include Glamrock Freddy for normal Security Breach, alongside an unused OST song for it, which you can hear in the background right now. Ruin Chica, so make sure ISO Speed doesn't get this mod. Something I really like about the Ruin backgrounds is sometimes you can see Cassie run behind the animatronic, and overall I think the menus are just very well made. It looks official. There's also a menu that only shows for a second that's Glamrock Bonnie, then it quickly cuts to Roxanne. Cassie walks in the background again, and then we see Eclipse doing a signature dance. And that's all the menus in this mod. I really do think that this mod gives you a whole different vibe going into the game, and it adds a lot to the fear factor. The next mod you'll notice is a mod that's called Character Retextures that does exactly that. It will make the characters look like they fit in more, giving them more of that modern retro vibe, and I think it looks miles better than the original designs, although the original isn't necessarily bad. This mod also changes Roxy, Chica, and Monty's eyes to glow red, which gives them a creepier presence in darker locations, and makes them appear more intimidating. But in the FNAF movie, they didn't look right. Shut up! While most of the changes this mod brings are very minuscule, there are a few details I really like in the new textures. For instance, the purple and black parts on Roxanne Wolf's limbs have a better tiger fur design on them, and the green leopard design on Chica's leg is more varied. And the best change is Glamrock Freddy has a better color palette, a better looking head, and he's way shinier than before. The only thing about this mod that could be somewhat negative is that it removes the dirt textures that are on the animatronics, but I think it makes up for it in everything else it does. That isn't all we did to the characters though, because 6 out of 18 of these mods are for characters alone. One of the small issues with the animatronics in Security Breach is the inconsistency of their models. In Ruin, they look completely different than they do in Security Breach. With the Ruin Accurate Animatronics mod, it fixes the endoskeletons in the shattered animatronics so that they stay consistent to Ruin. The bad part about these models being so inconsistent is that some people think they have lore implications, and it starts theories in the community, and we already know what happens when people have extremely minor lore disagreements. Let's take a minute away from the animatronics though and look at Vanny and Gregory. The unused Vanny voice lines mod takes a lot of the Vanny voice lines that went unused in Security Breach and puts them back into the game. If you don't know how many unused voice lines Vanny has, then I recommend Tetrabit Gaming series on Security Breach, because there are 32 unused voice lines in the files alone, and the names of them hint that there were probably even more that weren't left in the game. These voice lines show a lot of how Security Breach was supposed to be an entirely different game, and when you compare the voice lines that are actually in the game, you can see major differences in Vanessa's personality. I'm not going to go too in depth about that though, because plenty of people have made videos about it. Those are worth checking out too. Now, before we go over the biggest mod, which changes the difficulty and makes the game actually challenging, let's go over a few miscellaneous mods. The button fix mod is a mod that makes buttons look way better and more obvious of which state they're in. Maz's visual tweaks makes lighting look way better in multiple different areas of the game, puts the improved flashlight from Ruin into normal security breach, and replaces the font in the game with a font that's easier on the eyes. The subtle loading indicator mod gives security breach its own custom loading icon instead of using the same helpy one that Help Wanted uses. The minimal HUD mod removes a lot of the icons and UI that's on screen during gameplay and changes the crouching icon to be a circle. And the final miscellaneous mod, Old Voice Lines Back, brings some of the old voice lines that were left in the files back into the original game, like this alternate version of the first aid voice line.
I am detecting blood. You are injured.
Now finally, let's get into the harder AI mod, which changes things about all of the characters to make them more difficult, or as the description says, makes the difficulty a step up from a literal children's daycare. The first thing the mod does is it gives all of the animatronics better vision and hearing. The best example of this is during the Monty boss fight. He can see you from all the way across the room. During normal gameplay in the atrium, you'll be spotted multiple times from Roxanne down on the bottom floor, even if you're on the top floor. Look at her. No way she saw me! Bro, I'm 3 stories high! And for character-specific changes, there are quite a few. Chica can now start chasing you from a further distance away, and she runs a bit faster than normal. Uh-oh. Can't touch this. What? No!
Why is there a wall there?
Roxanne moves the same speed as Monty, meaning it's impossible to outrun her during normal circumstances. Yep, and you see how fucking far away she saw me from there?
Better than me?
What the hell? What the hell? Monty hasn't been changed at all because he was already very difficult to deal with and had better AI than all of the other animatronics. I'm dead! It's over, I'm dead! Oh my god, dude! Just give me a save point or something! Moon will run faster than you after you activate the 3rd generator, so make sure you're really far away from him or always keep him distracted. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, you just got that one? Shattered Chica will run even faster than normal Chica, and Shattered Monty is faster than he would normally be in his shattered form. I clicked, bro! What? Hello? I literally clicked my mouse bar. Oh no, he sees me.
Put it on me.
Wait. What? Oh, it wouldn't let me jump on it! The creator of this mod also says they want to update it and add more features, like making Freddy's battery drain faster, and eventually he'll make a nightmare mod, which sounds like a topic for an entirely different video. Overall, I think this mod makes the game way scarier, and it actually gave me a real challenge while I played through it.
Oh, you're done. Oh! That's risky. That's risky. Okay, look behind you. Look behind. Okay.
Would you rather have a big fucking bald hairline like Gideon or marry Dora? Now, the final mod in this remaster is the 3D Endings mod, which isn't entirely complete, but it will replace all of the endings of the game with their own 3D cutscenes and replace the last-minute comic book cutscenes. I think this also levels the playing ground in some lore areas, because a lot of people used to think that the Afton ending was canon because it was the only fully 3D animated ending. Others think that the Princess Quest is because it's the only 3-star ending. I'm not here to give my take on it, but I will say that it is kind of disappointing that the 3-star ending doesn't have a fully animated cutscene. The current version of the mod that I used is the demo version because the full version isn't out yet. The animations used in the full version are made by The Glitch Z, so make sure to check them out. That is all of the mods that are in this remaster of Security Breach, and over time, I think there will be a lot more mods that can make Security Breach a much better game than it is now. While that is the last of the mods I currently have installed, I'd like to talk about one specific mod that has been on my radar for a while now, and that I think needs more recognition. Blast to the Past is a mod that is currently in development for Security Breach. Recently, there was a trailer released for it, and it looks very promising. The mod plans to add all of the content that was scrapped from Security Breach last minute, including all of the areas that never made it into the game, but were found in the files. It also plans to add all brand new original content to Security Breach, reusing old and even new mechanics, new messages, and new collectibles. This mod promises to do everything that fans wanted out of Security Breach, doing even what Steelwool Studios couldn't. A few weeks ago, the mod was at 50% completed on its page, but was changed to 33% and has even been cancelled and uncancelled before. After the release of Ruin, this mod is going to be much harder to make, and I wouldn't be surprised if it massively set the team back, but I believe they can do it. I hope the developers of this mod do not try to overachieve as Steelwool did before, because then they'd just be repeating Security Breach history. I am very excited for this mod, and I think you should check it out if you haven't seen it before. The trailer for the mod will be linked in the description, and I think that's a good place to start. Now I've gone over the majority of everything I've wanted to cover with this video. If you're looking for a less laggy version of Security Breach, then I'm sad to tell you that's just not really possible as of now. Mods will be released, and maybe this topic will be worthy of another video in the future, but for now, I wasn't able to find many ways to improve the gameplay. The Blast to the Past extension definitely looks promising for the future, and maybe when it releases, it can get its own separate video. But for now, thanks for watching. I've been Ultbee. See ya!
All day, pray them niggas go away. Oh, we sell the clowns around, it look like circus show. This is not the album either, these are just the throwaways. This shit still so cold when it drop, it's gonna be a motherfucking snow day.